Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. What we're going to do today is we're going to be looking at all of our matchups we have coming up for the week 0 and week 1 of the 2025 college football season. It is that time again. We are down to the final month and a half of the preseason before college football season is back. I cannot wait. We've been waiting a really long time. We have a really good first week of college football. We have some great ranked on ranked matchups. We're going to break down every single matchup of the top 25 teams and the team that are just outside of the top 25. We can't go over all 60 of the games, so we're going to go over about 30 of the matchups today. First things first, though, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, by all means, drop it below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? What are your thoughts on these games? What games are you looking forward to? There's some good matchups here. Who do you think is going to pull it off? And if you want to sign up for one of our member teams, look down the pinned comment below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate that. We're going to go over all these games today. We're going to break them down, do our predictions on what the outcome is. We're going to be looking at the spreads here, the money line, the spread, the over-under. We won't be picking our actual bets yet. We'll wait till we get a little closer to game day till we know a little bit more about these rosters, but it is never too early to get into that football mindset. Now is the time. Let's not waste any more time. Let's start running through these games because there is a lot of them. The very first one we're going to have kicking off the college football season. This is actually a really good matchup here, an under-the-radar matchup. This is no doubt going to be a top 25 on top 25. This is two of the front runners for the Big 12 here. We have August 23rd at 12 p.m. on ESPN. This is the Dublin game last season. What was it? Florida State and Georgia Tech last year. Now we have Iowa State versus Kansas State, two of the front runners here for the Big 12. Right now, Kansas State, 1.5 run favorites. The over in here is 49.5. Iowa State, Matt Campbell. You know they're going to be disciplined. They're going to have a good defense, physical defense. Rocco Beck coming back for another season, had 3,500 yards last season, 25 touchdowns, 9 picks. But Kansas State, we know this team's also well coached. This is a perennial 10-win type season. This is one of those teams that gets the most out of the 3- and 4-star players they have. They have Avery Johnson, the highest recruited quarterback in Kansas State history. Last season, 2,700 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. A lot of people tried to poach him. He would not leave. He's also a guy who can run for up to 1,000 yards. Last season, Iowa State, 31.1 points a game, giving up 22.9. Kansas State, 30.8 points a game, giving up 23.4. Kansas State, the run game, that's what can make the difference here. I'm going to be looking at Kansas State winning this one, but this is a big matchup. This is an in-conference game to start the season. You definitely don't want to lose this one because you might get behind the 8 ball, but give me Kansas State to start the year with a win here. But I do think it's going to be a really close one, like a 28-24 game. And this team could very well be ranked or just outside of the top 25. Fresno State versus the Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas, last season, out of the gate, an awful start to the season, but they finished the season one of the hottest teams in college football. August 23rd, 6:30 p.m. on Fox. We're going to have Kansas here. The Kansas Jayhawks, they got to start out this season a lot hotter. They have Jalen Daniels back. He can be the difference maker. Started out last year, played awful the first couple games, but he was on fire at the end. He can sling it. He can run it. They're 14-point favorites. Over in here is 51.5. Fresno State, 26.1 points a game, giving up 24.8. They give up a lot of yards through the air, but they are a vertical passing team. Kansas, 29.7 points a game, giving up 26. They didn't have the best defense, but they're a more balanced team. Throwing for 209, running for 211.4. They're going to keep the game on the ground, suck up the clock, be the more physical team. Give me Kansas to win this one, 31-23. And then moving on to our August 28th games at 5:30 p.m. on ESPN. Boise State, this is a team that made the playoffs last season. They will definitely be starting out this year ranked. They'll be playing the South Florida Bulls. Right now, Madsen back for Boise State. They lost Ashton Gentry, put up crazy numbers, video game numbers, the entire season. Losing that run game, that could affect the play action here, but Boise State always plays much higher than their talent level. They're going to be a very good team. They're still a potential double-digit win team. Madsen last season, 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 picks. As a team, they averaged 37.3. They were giving up 22.6, but obviously, last season with Gentry, they were running for 240 yards a game. He's not going to be there. They're going to have to replace one of the most productive players, not just in college football last season, but in college football history. USF, 32.2 points a game, giving up 29.8. This game has potential shootout written all over it. Crazy things happen the first game. Teams are really rusty, but I'm going to go with Boise State winning a higher scoring one, 38-27. And August 28th at 7:30 p.m. on the SEC Network, Central Arkansas versus Missouri. This is going to be a very easy win for the Missouri Tigers, but don't forget, they are replacing all of their stars on the offensive side. Burden's gone. Cook's gone. They're going to be breaking in a new quarterback. We know a Fritz and company, this is going to be a well-coached, disciplined team. They've actually had a really good defense the last couple seasons and back-to-back 10-win seasons. Right now, Central Arkansas, 31.8 points a game, giving up 27.5. They give up almost 240 through the air. Missouri, 28.9. They were giving up 20.4. They did have a top 30 overall defense, but with those stars gone, there's a lot of new pieces coming in here, some first-year starters, but obviously Missouri's going to win this game. They're going to win it easily. I have them winning this one 38-14. And then we have a Big 10 versus Big 12 game. This is going to be a fun one to watch. It's going to be August 28th at 9 p.m. on ESPN. We're going to have the Nebraska Cornhuskers visiting the Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati soars these back at cornerback last season, 2,800 yards, 18 touchdowns, 7 picks. They got to work a little more on that defense, especially the secondary. Nebraska, Matt Rule here, high expectations. People are expecting a lot from this team. They want to get Nebraska back to Nebraska football. It's all going to start with that offense. And in the trenches, the offensive line, the defensive line, the front seven. They got to get back to that ground and pound style, dominating at the line of scrimmage. Right now, Nebraska, they got to work on that offense. 23.5 points a game, giving up 19.5. We know they're going to have a top 25 defense, but where does the offense go from here? They have Raiola back, 5-star quarterback. Last season, 2,800 yards, 13 touchdowns, 11 picks. Got to cut down on the interceptions. The Bearcats, 25.2 points a game, giving up 24.6. Nebraska, they're the more physical team. They should be able to control this at the line of scrimmage, control the time of possession, own that line of scrimmage. Right now, Nebraska, 7-point favorites over here is 50.5. I'm going to go with the Cornhuskers getting the win here at game one. I'm going to have them pulling this one off 31-17. And then August 29th at 7:30 on Peacock, we have the Western Illinois versus the Illinois Fighting Illini. For Illinois, this team, what a year they had last season. There is massive expectations here. They have Altmaier back at quarterback, 2,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks. You know, with this coaching staff, they are going to be physical. They want to play old school smash mouth style football. They're going to be a fun team to watch. Some people are picking them to be the Indiana of this season. Keep your eye on them. They have a experienced veteran coaching staff. They are the experienced team in the Big Ten. Might be one of those surprise teams right now. With this being an FCS matchup, obviously we don't have any spreads. Those will actually come out the day of the game. But you know that the Fighting Illini, they're going to have a good defense. They're going to have a pretty capable offense. They're going to beat the crap out of the Leathernecks, who last season averaged 31 a game. They were giving up 43.4, and that was in the FCS. That's not going to bode well here. The Fighting Illini, 28.3 points a game, giving up 21.7, only 148 on the ground. They're going to own that line of scrimmage. They're going to beat the crap out of them over 4 quarters. I'm going to go with Illinois winning this one, 40-10. And this next one's actually a really hard game to call. Auburn versus Baylor, August 29th, 8 p.m. on Fox. This is one of the most fun games to start the season. This is SEC versus the Big 12. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be in Waco, Texas. Baylor, last season, Dave Aranda on the hot seat. He answered the call, had a great season, finished the year really hot. This year, can they carry that momentum into the 25-26 season? For Auburn, a lot of pressure on them. Hugh Freeze, you got to step up here year 3. You got Jackson Arnold here. You had to retool that offense. You actually have a very deep wide receiver core. You had a solid defense last season. It was the offense that let you down. But will you be able to get the most out of Jackson Arnold? Right now, Auburn, 2.5 run favorites. 56.5 over under last season. The Tigers, 27.8 points a game, giving up 21.3. Baylor, 34.4 points a game, getting back to that high-flying Baylor offense, giving up 26.7. They have to get the defense better, especially if Hugh Freeze can correct the Auburn offensive issues. I'm going to go with Baylor pulling off the upset. I'm going to go with them winning this one 28-27. Very close game, but it's one of those ones you want to keep your eye on. And again, a really fun one, Georgia Tech versus Colorado, August 29th at 8 p.m. on ESPN. If you're able to watch this, watch this. This is Deion Sanders, post Shedeur Sanders, post Travis Hunter. He has to refill a lot of those positions. Obviously, 5-star quarterback coming in. They still have a very deep wide receiver core. But how does this Colorado offense look without Shedeur Sanders, without Travis Hunter? How does the defense look? They just lost their defensive line coach. This defense was actually pretty good. They led the Big 12 in sacks last season, but Travis Hunter's gone. Shedeur Sanders is gone. That wide receiver core is going to be good. The defense, that front seven, they got to step up here. They have to make some massive improvements. They improved over the 23 season. Now they have to improve over the 24 season. We will get to see Deion Sanders completely rebuilding and retooling this team. Georgia Tech, if they can keep King healthy, that is the missing piece here. Last year, 2,100 yards, 14 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's a guy that can throw, for 3,000 to 3,500 yards. He can run for 1,000 yards. You just have to keep him healthy, and the sky is honestly the ceiling here for the Georgia Tech Tech Yellow Jackets. They are 3.5 run favorites. Over here is 55.5. I'm going to go Georgia Tech last season, 28.9 points a game, giving up 25.6. Colorado, 32.9, giving up 23.1. But Colorado replacing a lot of starters. Georgia Tech keeping this team healthy. That's the key. Give me Georgia Tech to win this game, 38-20. Pretty handed win to me. But they are the experienced veteran team here. And then August 30th at 12 p.m. on ABC, the Syracuse Orange versus the Tennessee Volunteers. This is the Orange versus the Orange. This game is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, ACC versus Tennessee Volunteers. Syracuse led the nation in passing last season. Fran Brown, what a job he's done getting transfers to buy in. Actually has a really good recruiting class coming in. They had a deep wide receiver core. Kyle McCord led the nation in passing last season. All those guys are gone, though. They're bringing in a lot of new weapons, a lot of new foundational pieces that they have to do. So their offense isn't going to be quite like what it was last season. Don't forget, they did win 10 games last season. Tennessee Volunteers, they made the playoffs. You had Nico coming back. You had a really good defense, a top 20 defense from last season. Tackles for loss, quarterback pressures, sacks. Nico transfers out. Joey Aguilar coming in here. Obviously, Josh Heupel, one of the best offensive minds in college football, but last minute having to replace a lot of pieces. Right now, Tennessee, though, they are still 13-point favorites. Over here is 55.5. Syracuse last season, 34.1 points a game, giving up 29.2. Their defense was not good. Tennessee, 35.7 points a game, giving up 16.1 points a game. Yeah, that's a top 10 overall defense in the nation. Yes, they lost some pieces from last year. Even with Joey Aguilar, I trust Josh Heupel there. I trust their defense. They are still the more talented team. Give me Tennessee winning this one 34-21. And our next game is going to be the defending national champions, the Big Ten versus the SEC, the two best, the two deepest conferences facing off. The front runners potentially to win both conferences, Texas versus Ohio State, August 30th at 12 p.m. on Fox. This is the game of the week 0-1. This is a fun matchup. Whoever wins this game is probably going to be the front runner as the number one team in the nation once this game ends. Right now, the Buckeyes, 3-point favorites. They are the defending champs. You got to put them up there. The over here is 50.5. Texas last season, 33 points a game, giving up 15.3. Crazy numbers, top 10. The Buckeyes finished last year with the number one defense in the entire nation, giving up 12.9 points a game. Yes, they lost their defensive coordinator over there to Penn State, but it doesn't matter. This coaching staff is elite. Chip Kelly's also gone. They have refilled at every single position. Hartline and company. This team is going to be ready to go. A top 5 overall roster, but so do the Longhorns have a top 5 overall roster, but they both lost a lot of the players from their teams last season that are off to the NFL. These teams produce some of the best talent in college football. For the Longhorns, Arch Manning coming in with the big last name. Will he be able to live up to the massive, mountainous expectations that have been heaped on him? This is his time versus one of the best front sevens in the nation. They're going to be coming after him. He's going to have to play a great game. Anything can happen week one. Players are rusty. Defenses are rusty. Could be a shootout. Could be a low-scoring, sloppy game. You never know what you're going to get just yet. And for the Buckeyes, obviously, they lost their quarterback. They lost their running backs. They lost some of their wide receiver core. They have Jeremiah Smith back. Right now, they still are loaded with 5 stars at the quarterback position. I'm going to go with the Buckeyes pulling off an extremely close win here, 30-27. But this is one of those games, flip a coin. It can go either way. And then some SEC versus ACC. Alabama versus Florida State, August 30th at 3:30 p.m. on ABC. This game is going to be in Tallahassee, Bama right now. 13-point favorites over here is 50.5. Alabama last season, 33.8 points a game, giving up 17.4. This was not the Nick Saban Alabama. They didn't have a top 10 defense. They still had a really good defense, but not as good as it's been previous seasons. The offense, they did struggle to consistently run the ball. Jalen Milroe is off to the NFL, so look for Kalen DeBoer to get back to his comfort zone, doing what he does best, vertically pushing the ball down the field. This offense is going to be a lot more explosive this season to me, a lot more consistent. Simpson's the front runner. You have Grubb back as the offense coordinator, one of the best offensive minds in college football. For Florida State, a lot of pressure on Mike Norvell. Obviously, they went from undefeated in the regular season to 2-10 last season. That is inexcusable. They did retool this team. They've been working the portal. That is what Norvell does. They have Castellanos coming over, veteran, experienced quarterback. But will he be able to take Florida State to starting out the season with a massive upset win versus the Alabama Crimson Tide? I don't think so. I have Alabama winning this one 28-14. And this next game is honestly going to be a shellacking. We have Marshall versus the Georgia Bulldogs, August 30th, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN. Sanford Stadium. This game is going to be in Athens. Right now, Georgia, 39.5% chance to win this game. Heavy favorites. The over-under here is 55. and have Georgia Stockton taking over at the quarterback position. Carson Beck is off to Miami. Georgia, they also have to get back to running the ball. Kirby Smart only running for 124.4 yards per game. That is not a Georgia offense. Bobo, pressure on you. You have to step up. You have to perform. This team is loaded with 5 stars, giving up 20.6 points a game. That is the worst Georgia defense I've seen in over a decade. Still good for your normal team, but un-Georgia Bowl-like. And for Marshall, 31.8 points a game, giving up 23.1. But I think Georgia's going to come out this first game. They are going to be angry. It's going to be a curb stomping. They win this one 52-7. And then August 30th at 3:30 p.m. on CBS, Nevada versus the Penn State Nittany Lions. James Franklin here, he finally got the weight off his shoulder, won a playoff game, won a massive bowl game here. Yes, they didn't make it all the way to the national championship. Yes, they lost Warren, but they have a lot of returning production. Just look at the quarterback. They have Drew Waller coming back. It seems like this guy's been starting at the quarterback for the Nittany Lions for a decade at this point. He's a 4 or 5 year starter right now. He's a 5-star coming out of high school. Did not put up the best stats in crunch time last season, but he's a veteran. Do not underestimate that. Don't forget Michigan, when they won the national championship, they were a senior-laden experience team. Last season, the Buckeyes, senior-laden experience team. This is Penn State's turn, the 3rd straight year. The Big Ten is bringing in one of the most veteran-laden experience squads in all of college football. Maybe it's their turn to win a national championship. Right now, Penn State, 45.5 favorites. Right now, the over-under is 59.5. Penn State last year, 33.1 points a game, only giving up 16.5 points a game. That was a top 5 overall defense in the nation. And on that defensive side, they were extremely aggressive. Nevada giving up 28.8, scoring 23.1. Obviously, they're not really good at anything. Penn State should be able to dominate this game on both sides of the ball. Drew Waller back, 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns, 8 picks. They have Singleton. They have Allen, the best 1-2 running back combo in the nation. They can just line up with anyone. They can run it right down your throat. They can compete with any team in this country at the line of scrimmage. Give me Penn State winning this game, winning it handily, winning it 41-10. And we have Iowa State coming up for another game, because don't forget they're playing week 0, so they're going to play 2 times within that first period. South Dakota versus Iowa State, August 30th at 3:30 p.m. on Fox. You have South Dakota right now. They're going to be the underdogs here, obviously. This is an FCS versus FBS game, so we're not going to have any spread till we get the kickoff. South Dakota, 35.8 points a game last season, giving up 17.6. One of the better FCS teams in the nation, but it's not going to matter. They are playing a Power 4 team. Iowa State, 31.1 points a game, giving up 22.9. I have them winning this game easily, 37-13. And this next game is also a FCS versus FBS, so no spread here. Montana State versus Oregon, August 30th. 4 p.m. on the Big Ten Network. You have the Oregon Ducks. This team went the entire season #1, lost in the playoffs, but we know this team started out really slow last year. People were starting to murmur their first 4 to 5 weeks that they were not living up to expectations. They did ultimately turn into an extremely well-rounded team, one of the most well-rounded, put-together rosters in the nation, offense, defense. But Dylan Gabriel's off to the NFL. That guy played 15 to 17 years in the college football ranks. He's gone. They're breaking in some new blood, but boy, are they talented. Last season, they averaged 34.9 points a game. They can throw it. They can run it. They were only giving up 19.4 points a game. That's a top 20 defense overall. Oregon State started out last season extremely slow. People were starting to murmur. They weren't living up to those expectations. They're going to start it out a lot quicker this season. I have them winning this one 44-13, getting things on track much sooner. And why not another blowout game? Illinois State versus the Oklahoma Sooners. This is FCS versus the SEC. August 3rd, 6 p.m. on the SEC Network. This game is going to be in Norman, Oklahoma. Obviously, they're bringing over John Mateer from Washington State and his offensive coordinator with him in a similar system. Right now, he's a guy that could be top 3 in the Heisman preseason voting. He's someone that could throw for 3,500 yards, run for 1,000 yards. He's going to be one of the most electrifying players in the nation. It's massively going to help out the Sooners. Their offense was atrocious last season, only 24 points per game. Look for them to at least the floor, get that up to 35 to 37 points. They might be in the 40 range potentially, but I see like a 38 to 37. No matter what, they're going to be well over 35 points per game. Their defense last season, even though all the pressure was on them, they only gave up 21.5 points a game. That's with the offense going 3 and out nonstop. This is an FCS team they're playing, so obviously we do not have a spread, but Oklahoma, they are going to beat the living crap out of them. John Mateer is going to flex his muscles, and he's going to show he's potentially ready for the SEC. I have the Sooners winning this one 42-16. And why not some Kirk Ferentz football? The University at Albany versus Iowa. Again, an FCS team versus a Big Ten team. August 3rd, 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. If there's paint drying, I would rather watch that than watch Iowa play football. No offense, you Iowa fans. It's just Kirk Ferentz. His offenses are atrocious. They're straight from 1920. You're going to have a top 10 defense. You're going to have a top 10 special teams. but you moving the ball, you are going to live off of defensive points and turnovers and special teams. It's just an awful thing to watch. If you just gave this team a top 100 offense, they would be a playoff team. That's how good their defense is every season. Right now they averaged 27.7 last season, giving up 17.8. But it's the defense and the special teams, the kicking game that carries this team. But playing an FCS team, they're going to dominate. They win this one 38-3. They might even shut them out. And then at 7 p.m. on the SEC Network, August 30th, we have LIU versus the Florida Gators. This game is in Gainesville, Florida. Billy Napier last season on the hot seat the entire year. The most difficult schedule I've ever seen in my life. This season is probably the Sooners, but the Gators still have a top 5 overall difficult schedule. It is rough. Napier, you got to at least match what you won last season. You got to at least get to 8 wins this season in order to keep your job. You are playing an FCS team here. This is an easy win. Last year, 28.3 points a game, giving up 23.1. They continue to improve the roster, and there's no doubt these players love playing for Napier. They play very hard for him. You have DJ Lagway. He is fully healthy right now. Look for this offense to open up, and they're going to open it up out of the gates. I have Florida winning this one easily, winning it 55-7. And then after that, we're going to be looking at our next SEC game. We're going to have UTSA versus the Texas A&M Aggies. August 30th, 7 p.m., ESPN, College Station. The Aggies, 21.5 points a game. The over here is 56.5. UTSA, not a bad team when it comes to offense. 33.2 points a game, giving up 30.1 points a game. They get scorched through the air, giving up 266 yards through the air last season. The Aggies, Mike Elko team, disciplined, line of scrimmage football team. They want to run it down your throat. They average 30.4 points a game, running for just under 196 per game, and that's with them losing their running back at the midway point. They were giving up 22.2 points a game. Right now, you have Reed back at the quarterback position. He's now the starter game one, 1,900 yards last year, 15 touchdowns, 6 picks. He's also a mobile quarterback. He can extend plays with his legs. There's going to be a massive talent gap here. Give me the Aggies to win this one, 37-18. And then Kansas State obviously playing week 0. They're going to be playing again early to start the season in this first official week. North Dakota versus Kansas State. This is another FCS matchup. We had Kansas State winning that first game. They're going to have Avery Johnson slinging the ball up and down the field. Don't forget last season, 30.8 points a game, giving up 23.4. They should be a more veteran, experienced team. They have a pretty deep wide receiver core. They are well coached. I have Kansas State winning this one 48-20. And this is an extremely difficult game to call. LSU, the Tigers versus the Clemson Tigers. The Battle of the Tigers, August 30th, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. This is fun. This is SEC versus ACC. This is two potential top 10 teams facing off week 1. Right now, Clemson, 3-point favorites over here is 56.5. You have Nussmeier right now for LSU. Blake Baker back for year 2. The defense is going to be even better than they were last year. A lot of pressure on Brian Kelly. Now is the time. Put up or shut up. Veteran experience squad. If you don't win this season, if you don't at least make the playoffs, you are now in a rebuild mode next year. So now is the time. Nussmeier, 4,100 yards last season, 29 touchdowns, 12 picks. Klubnik for Clemson. He finally improved. You finally saw that potential from this 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. Year 2 in the Garrett Riley offense, and they took some steps forward. He was throwing the ball. They were running the ball. They had a pretty good wide receiver core. It's been a couple seasons since Clemson had a deep wide receiver core. Klubnik last year, 3,700 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 picks, and he ran for about 700 yards. As a team, they averaged 34.7, giving up 23.4. But Dabo Swinney, he's been working here. He improved the coaching staff. They should be better on defense, especially at the line of scrimmage in the trenches with that front seven. And LSU, 30.5 points a game, throwing for 315. This team loved to put the ball down the field, and they were giving up 24.3. This is one of those games, it is practically a pick-em game, but if you made me decide right now, I'm going Clemson winning a very close one, 28-24. And we have Mayova taken over as the quarterback for the USC Trojans. They're going to be playing Missouri State versus USC. Right now, the Trojans, 32.5-point favorites. Over here is 58.5. Missouri State last year, 34.8 points a game, throwing for 306.2. They love to vertically push the ball down the field, giving up 30.2 points a game. This is the USC game. You really want to get that offense rolling. You want to get that offense hot out the gate. Lincoln Riley, that is his specialty. You know this defense. First year, D'Anton Lynn last season, they took massive strides forward. The improvement from 23 to 24 was remarkable. Look for it to be even better from 24 to 25. They're much deeper at the skilled positions and in the trenches. Right now, USC last year, 30.2 points a game, 24.1. But Mayova, what is his ceiling this season? No matter what it is, he has the best offensive mind in college football coaching him. So they're going to get numbers on offense, and that defense will be better. They'll be a more competitive team this season. Give me USC winning this one, and there being a lot of points. I have them winning it 52-24. And then you have another FCS versus FBS matchup. You're going to have Arkansas Pine Bluff versus Texas Tech. Texas Tech, they own the transfer portal this offseason. How about them bringing in the #1 transfer portal class, not in the Big 12, but in the nation? They're going to be a team. They had to improve a lot on the defensive side. Don't forget, last year they were giving up 34.8 points a game, 308 points through the year. Obviously, they had to work on that secondary. They brought in a lot of key players. They were scoring 37.6. This is an offense. Obviously, Texas Tech, since the Mike Leach days, they have been able to move the ball. Joey Aguilar, they have Morton coming back as the quarterback, 3,400 yards, 27 touchdowns, 8 picks last season. They're going to have an offense that's capable of moving the ball. They just have to get some improvement from that defense. But I have them winning this game 58-17. And then Georgia State versus Ole Miss, August 30th, 7:45 p.m. The SEC Network. Ole Miss Rebels here. Lane Kiffin squad, 36.5-point favorites. Over to here, 62.5. There's going to be some potential points here. Georgia State last season, not the best offense, 23.8 points a game, giving up 33.8. They don't score. They give up a lot of runs. Ole Miss last year, a top 10 offense, 38.6 points a game, throwing for 350.8 points a game, running for just under 176, only giving up 14.4. That's a top 10 defense in the nation, but they're replacing a lot of pieces. Obviously, Jackson Dart gone, Trey Harris is gone, new running backs, a lot of new faces on defense. Kiffin has been working that portal. He's been working hard. He's been working it well. You have Austin Simmons coming in here. Austin Simmons, a lot of praise here. He's probably going to fill in perfectly for Jackson Dart at the quarterback position. And you know Lane Kiffin never has any issues on the offensive side. That's his specialty. They're going to score. It's just, what will be the fall off if there is a fall off on the defensive side? No matter what, they're going to win this game. Don't forget, Ole Miss started out last season scoring 60, 70 points a game. Look for them to start off just as hot this season. I have them winning this game 60-14. And this is a real shame for BYU fans. Portland State versus BYU, August 30th, 8 p.m. on ESPN. You won 10 games last season. You had Retzlaff coming back, the guy who could do it all last year. He's coming back as your quarterback. And then you had that entire dumb scandal off the field. He just transfers out of nowhere, last week? Now your star quarterback is gone, and the football season is about to start. What a bummer. This is a team that could have easily won 10 games this season, potentially even competed for a playoff spot. Last year, 31.2 points a game, giving up 19.6. There's no spreads yet. There's no lines yet because this is an FCS matchup they're playing. I'm going to go with BYU winning this one, but without the quarterback, this is a complete shot in the dark. Give me them winning this 33-18. And East Texas A&M versus SMU. If I were SMU, you have Jennings back at quarterback, Rhett Lashley, great offensive line. Jennings last season filling in at quarterback, 3,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 picks. He's also a guy who can go mobile, extend plays with his legs. SMU last year, 36.5 points a game, only giving up 22.1. One of the better rush defenses in the nation. East Texas, 20.8 points a game. One of the worst offenses you're going to see in the FCS, and they were giving up 31.5. This is going to be an easy game for SMU to kind of get everything oiled up, get that offense rolling, get that defense playing tough football. But if I were them, once we get into that second half, get the starters in, get them some reps, get them prepared for a long 12-game season. But I'm going to go with the Mustangs winning this one 44-7. And another FCS matchup, Northern Arizona versus Arizona State, August 30th, 10 p.m. on ESPN. Arizona State coming off of that playoff appearance last season. Yes, they lost Scadaboo, but they still have Levitt at the quarterback position. One of the top 5 front runners right now for the Heisman. Last year, 2,900 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 picks. He's going to be even better this season. His wide receiver core will be healthy. Tyson's back. They averaged 32.9 last year, giving up 22.6. Scadaboo, obviously that is a massive loss. One of the best running backs in the nation last year. Top 3 overall running back in the entire country. You have to miss that type of guy, especially when it comes to play action. But they're not going to need him this game. That offense is going to open things up. They're going to win it handily. I have Arizona State winning this one 57-14. And then we're moving on to our Monday games. Virginia Tech versus South Carolina Gamecocks, August 31st, 3 p.m. on ESPN. Right now, the Gamecocks, 9.5-point favorites. Over here is 45.5. The Gamecocks, you just barely missed the playoffs last season. You did not play your bowl game well. There is massive expectations here. Shane Beamer and company, how do you live up to those expectations? Do you disappoint this season, or do you show that you are for real and you are not going to be a staple in SEC football? They have a very tough in-conference schedule here. Playing a tough out-of-conference ACC Virginia Tech team who's a decent team. They're not competitive. They're not bad, but you got to take them serious. Right now, South Carolina last year, 30.5 points a game, giving up 18.1. What a great defense they had, especially on that defensive line. Virginia Tech, 28.2, giving up 22.8. They have Drones back at the quarterback. He's a mobile quarterback, 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 6 picks. But Sellers is back for South Carolina. This guy is getting Heisman hype in the offseason. 2,500 yards last year, 18 touchdowns, 7 picks. But he can also run for 1,000 yards whenever he's ready for it. They are the more physical team, the more talented team, and that defense is going to get him the win here. I have the Gamecocks winning this one 34-20. And our second to last game, this one honestly scares the crap out of me. One of the better rivalries in college history. Notre Dame Irish coming off of the runner-up to last season, coming off in the national championship appearance. Riley Leonard's gone, but they still have Jeremiah Love. And when he is on, one of the best running backs, probably might be the best returning running back in the nation right now. They'll be playing the Miami Hurricanes in Miami, August 31st, 7:30 p.m. on ABC. This game is going to be fun. Right now, Notre Dame, they are 3-point favorites. Over here is 54.5. Notre Dame last season, one of the best defensive, one of the more physical teams. They had a lot of injuries last season. They overcame everything. They averaged 36.1 points a game. They were running for 200.9 yards per game, only giving up 15.5 points a game. Miami, Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick. Their offense, number 1 in the nation by several points last year. 43.9 points a game, throwing for 348, running for 189, giving up 25.3. That defense was atrocious, especially that last couple of games, especially the Syracuse game. What a joke it was. Heatherman comes over as the defense coordinator. You have Carson Beck, another experienced veteran quarterback. They're going to be slinging it up and down the field. Mario Cristobal, you got to at least get 10 wins this season. This is your chance here. You got to get to the playoffs. You have to make an ACC championship appearance. No matter what, this is going to be a fun game. Make sure to watch it, a Monday night crazy game. I'm going to go with Miami pulling off the upset here. A very close game, 27-24, but this is going to be one to watch. And welcome to college football, September 1st, 8 p.m. on ESPN. TCU Horned Frogs versus the North Carolina Tar Heels. Right now, TCU 2.5-point favorites. The over here is 59.5. TCU, you have a great offensive mind here calling your plays. You're going to be running that up-tempo air raid. You're going to be spreading the ball out up and down the field. They averaged 33.5 points a game last season, giving up 24.6. At the quarterback position, Hoover is coming back, 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 11 picks. Sonny Dykes, you know he's going to place this guy in position to succeed, but Bill Belichick is on the other side. The NFL GOAT coming to college football. I'm a little tore on that. He's 73 years old, now his first time coaching college football, working the NIL, having to recruit. I don't know what I'm thinking about that. TCU 2.5 run favorites last season. UNC 30.9 points a game, giving up 28.1. You know Bill Belichick, he's going to get that defense right. But how does he build a college team at 73 years old? We're going to have to wait and see, but this is definitely going to be one that I'm going to be watching. TCU last year, 33.5 points a game, giving up 24.6. I'm going to go with TCU. I'm going to go with the known commodity in the college ranks. They win a shootout, 38-34, but it will be very interesting to see what Bill Belichick does year one in the CFB. Guys, that's our early season predictions, our bets, our picks for all of our week 0 and 1 games to start out the 2025 season. First things first, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, by all means, drop them below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? What are your thoughts on these games? What are your picks on these games? Drop the comments down there. I will make sure that I respond to every single one of them. If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, look down at the pinned comment below. Click on that link. You can sign up there, and I would definitely appreciate it. And, of course, thank you for watching.